Oh, Matt, straight from the minor camogie into the minor footballers. We're joined by John Ryan, manager, as Limerick are preparing for that Phase 1 final against Tipperary. John, how are you keeping?
Not too bad, Matt. Good morning, Jack. Good morning.
Good morning,
I just
morning,
like to
John.
send best wishes out to Paul. I know Paul well, and to minor camogie on Sunday. I hope that it's great to say we need titles in Limerick in all grades and all sports. And Paul, best luck on Sunday, and to the team and the rest of the management as well.
Lovely thought, John.
Yeah,
There,
hopefully it
lovely
can
thought.
be yeah, hopefully it can be the start of a minor double for Limerick. John, you have, I suppose, a bit more time than the camogie side. You're not out till the 11th, 8 days from today. It'll be, a solid 2 weeks from that win over Waterford. What's the mood been like since, I suppose, you confirmed that place in the final last Thursday?
Yeah, look, we got together on Saturday morning. We had a players management meeting, and we had a light session afterwards because it's week on week, as you know, Jack, and it can take its toll with injuries and that. So last night was the first real blowout we had, and we had a good session last night. The mood in the camp is good. The thing we all must realise here that these are all 17-year-olds, and they have a lot going on. They're involved in school. They have they're at that age as well where they're in sport. They have to make a decision which road they'll go down. And then we have players that play rugby, soccer, but the commitment level that we've got from the panel is absolutely fantastic. Just going back to it, I suppose we would have started back training in January, and we got an S&C coach in David Lernahan from Kilmehel and County Clare. Would have played senior football, under 21 and minor football with Clare. He came in as our S&C. He's involved in UL, and the first thing we had to work on was our fitness levels. We just saw that and no disrespect to anyone, it was that time of year where the heavy slog, and we used to call it money in the bank because we need that. And I think it has come through that their fitness level has improved over the last, we'll say, number of weeks and matches. And as the matches has gone on, we played challenge games, we played Laois, we played Wexford, we played Offaly. We played Wexford, we beat Wexford. We probably could have beaten Laois, but on the day Offaly were the better team. So we came into the first game against Tipperary, and we were kind of scratching our heads, picking the side. And I think there was a bit of nervousness there the first day, and I think that our players didn't do themselves justice. I remember leaving Meek Neville Park that night and thinking, where are we going from here? We had to face down to Milltown, and I would have been involved in Clare. I'm living in Cratloe, so I would know the Clare football scene very well, because I would have trained for the last 3 years. I would have been involved against with Lizzie Casey against a lot of those teams. And when you go to Milltown to play a match, you're really going into the Lions Den of Clare football. And when they get you down there, it's your next step is America. So weather-wise, atmosphere-wise, the whole lot down there was a tough one. But look, there was a great story told of 1979, the Milltown massacre, when a great Kerry side beat Clare. And, Clare would have been bringing teams. When I was involved with the seniors, we went there with a good Limerick senior team to play Clare in the McGrath Cup, and we came out second best. So I was going down really on hope donating. But what a night and what a game, and what a night for Limerick football.
Yeah, it was a brilliant game, and watching it, it seems that the players, once maybe the second goal went in, that they got huge confidence. And you talk about that fitness and energy just to go through. They seem like a very determined group just to get to the goals, that they're happy enough to leave points behind, that they're going for goals. And it's a refreshing approach to football.
It is, but it doesn't always work. You need to keep the scoreboard ticking as well, Jack. It's not, when we got him in at half time in that game, first thing was we said we targeted the straight down the centre, and 2 goals in the second half came off that area. Sometimes you plan that stuff and it doesn't come off, but on this occasion it did, and we were all delighted. But in saying that, I have to hand it to the players. We gave them instructions in the dressing room, but they went out and they had to. When you're inside the white line, and you know, there was parts of that game when Clare were really on top, and it looked there was no way back for Limerick, and they fought and fought and fought. The next thing, look, they got the result. And of all my years involved in football, that was the sweetest.
Yeah, and you spoke about the age profile, and you'd have some 17-year-olds, but a lot of 16-year-olds in there, and they would have known themselves going down to Milltown and then again in Rathkeale last Thursday. They had to win both games, and they got the job done. And you know, you must be very proud of the team first and foremost to actually take that pressure and still perform.
Yeah, and at intercounty level, there is pressure. When you put on a Limerick jersey or any intercounty jersey, you're facing into, you know, the unknown for these players. And you know, and it was the parents as well. You know, they drive them to training, they wait for them, bring them home. You know, they're always at the end of the phone if there's a problem or anything, if there's a change of venue or whatever we're trying to do. So this is a whole team effort, both parents and the players. And you know, I'm so proud of everybody that's involved, management, backroom team, everybody involved. And going into play Waterford last week in McNeville, a big, physical, strong Waterford team that had all to play for. They'd nothing to lose. They could drop the shackles. They wanted to get a win. I spoke to their manager when they arrived, and he said, you know, that they were going for it, and they did. And you know, it took us a long time to break them down, especially there. We couldn't get the ball into our inside forwards because they were playing 14 behind the ball, and that was very difficult. And their physical strength as well caused us major problems. They kind of put a wall across our half forward line and to break them down. So it was a long ball to try and get it in, and patience won the game for us. And I think a fantastic, I'd hate singling out players, but Evan Curry was very, very good. He got a fantastic goal. If it was in the Premiership, I'd say to be on Sky for a few weeks showing it. But he met it on the volley and went straight into the back of the net. But look, we are delighted. We've come through with it, and you know, now you get another crack at Tipp in Mallow. I think next Thursday night. That's morning week.
On Tipperary, I suppose you have improved with the games, and lads that age will improve. You must be really looking forward to getting another crack at Tipp, because probably a bit under par, you know, first game of the year, probably a bit of nerves and all that, and could have been some of the lads' first time represented Limerick. That you have improved in the meantime, and you'd be mad to go for it again against Tipp.
Yeah, look, but they have improved as well, and that we brought that up in training last night. They will have improved. They have the game against Clare now. There was nothing between them and Clare. Clare, there was a point in it with a few minutes to go, and they kicked on, whereas Clare didn't. And Clare missed. I think it was a free or a ball under the post that they could have put over the bar to level it, and that could have changed the whole thing. But look, we are getting another crack at them. I think the pressure is on Tipp a small bit rather than ourselves, because you know, they have beaten us in our own backyard. Now it's a neutral venue. You know, all bets are off here now. Let's have a go at this and have a crack at it, you know.
Yeah, it's an exciting game to look forward to. Matt, I'll throw it over to you.
John, can you give us an update on your captain, Aidan O'Shea, who you have played the entire campaign so far without? And he's the only survivor from last year. Yeah.
Well, Evan Curry was on the panel as well last year, as far as I know. Going back to Aidan picked up a knock, a very simple knock. He'd been down for a ball, and he was a collision with another player. So he had his neck got injured. He hasn't trained with us since. He was at training last night. He's still under with Dr. Lucy, and Dr. Lucy is basically going through stuff with him. We've days. This will go down to the 11th hour. We'll make a decision, but we have to be fair to Aidan as well. Now, he hasn't tugged out, but he has been in the dressing room with us. What a leader, and what a man that can talk. And you know, he's an on-playing leader for us, and he's our captain. So the next few days and the next week will tell a lot.
John, that first performance in Rathkeale against Tipperary, there's no use in sugarcoating it. It was a very, very, very poor performance, and I suppose you'd be entitled to think and scratch your head after it and say, "What the hell have I got into here?" You know. But what actually happened between it and the Clare match? Because this is a carbon copy of what happened last year. We went down very poorly to Tipperary in the first round, and then lo and behold, we dug out a big result against Clare and against Waterford. But it wasn't a change in the Limerick team between Tipperary and Clare. It was a transformation.
Yeah, look, I keep going back to it, Matt. These are young fellas. We went into that game thinking that we were going to perform, and there was 10 minutes or 15 minutes gone in the Tipperary game, and we were, as you said, we were scratching our heads in the sideline. We tried to make changes, and actually the more changes we made, the worse it got at times. And look, we regrouped after that. We met in UL and we had a chat. We went through a small bit of stuff. We looked at the video, and I think the players said to themselves, "We've nothing to lose going in against Clare. Let's have a go." And I was saying it a few times that this is not a bad Limerick minor team. It's just it's like having all the ingredients to bake the cake. And how do we do it? And on a given night, it's an hour's football. You can train, you can plan, you can give all the game plans you want, but it's down to that hour. And I agree with you, Matt. We were very, very poor against Tipperary in the first round. They took the game to us, and there was, no matter what we tried to do, we missed scores, we turned over a lot of ball. We looked at the stats at half time, and we'd given away, I think it was around 11 or 12 or 14 unforced errors. Panicking the ball. We were panicking coming out of the fence with it. And, we were punished for that. And in the second half, Tipperary just seemed to up the ante and just moved on.
Yeah, John, just referring to the Waterford game again there, and you spoke about the defensive strategy of Waterford, but the previous week, Waterford got a right trouncing from Tipperary. Did that feed in any way into the lads' approach to the game?
No, I think what happened with Waterford was Waterford were having gone to a go at they were kind of they said we need to get scores on the board, and I think when they win for the game, they opened up at the back. So when they came to McNeville last Thursday night, they said, okay, let's go defensive here and break on the counter attack and see what we can get out of it. And we found it very, very hard to break them down. But as the game wore on, we got in top, and we got in top then. Like, we missed a lot of scores as well, Matt. I would think, the scoreline didn't do our possession, the amount of possession we had justice, because we had the ball, we were on the ball an awful lot, but we didn't turn it into scores. And that's a worrying factor for us as a management team, that you have so much possession, but you can't turn it into scores. And we didn't seem to do that against Waterford.
John, chatting with you after the Tipperary game in McNeville Park, you were lauding the structure of the competition. How important is the tweak that has been made to it this year, that irrespective of what happens in the Phase 1 final, you have a semi-final to look forward to against one of the big two?
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. When you look at it, you have, we've won 5 matches. It's a long time since a Limerick minor football team had 5 matches in championship. Irrespective of whatever happens next week, you're going to play one of the big guns, Cork or Kerry. Now, everybody wants to crack at one of these, because then that shows you where you're at. There's fantastic work being done under Stephen Levin at the academy level. That's bringing them through. Paul Kinnerk was there before that. The academy is going very, very well. I know they had a big win against Roscommon at under 16 level last week. So, it's all that is good, but what we need to do is we need to progress with it. So if you go into a championship and you're knocked out in the first round, all the good work is gone. We'd been gone if it was knockout against Tipperary. But yet we had the next game against Clare, back into it again, next game against Waterford. Now you're in a Phase 1 final. Now everything, all bets are off again, and you could there's silverware on the offering, and now you're back into, after that you've 2 teams going forward as well. So everything, this is a very, very good structure, and we all give out about fixtures and about structures within our association, but I think this one definitely is definitely very, very good.
That's it from me, Jack. The very best of luck on Thursday week, John.
Matt, thank you very much. You've been always very good to us. Thank you very much, Matt.
Yeah, that fixture is next Thursday night at 7 o'clock in Mallow, Limerick versus Tipperary. As Matt said, the best of luck to you, John. But